How's it going, everybody? Hopefully you're enjoying your Pokemon adventure. Got some updates for you in this video. Gonna mostly be focusing on the Battle Frontier, however I do have some miscellaneous things that I want to talk about. The first thing is I got a shiny Cyndaquil the other day in Heart Gold. That was crazy. Like, I was soft resetting for like one day. Like, I started it on Saturday night, evening, and then I got it Sunday night. Like, granted, I did play a lot like Sunday. Like, I was soft resetting almost the whole day, and I was just about to stop soft resetting and like go to bed, and then it popped up. I was like, no way. I was shook. That like dopamine rush, I haven't had that since like shiny Eevee, which was like maybe 2021 or 2022, a couple years ago. Anyway, that's really exciting. I don't want to dive too deep into there because that'll be part of the Gen 4 like walkthrough gameplay and updates, all that stuff. But man, that was exciting. I did post a very in-depth video the other day about how to train a Pokemon in Gen 3. That took a lot of time, but I'm happy I got that out. And it's not perfect. There are some mistakes. I'm thankful people have pointed those out too. They're in the comment section, so I am appreciative of that. But it did take a while, but I'm happy we got that out, and hopefully it helps a lot of people out training some Pokemon. Definitely thankful for all the support too. I guess that's what I was mostly hinting at. So many comments, so many likes, a lot of watch time too. Like, it's a very feels good thing to make a video like that and actually like people enjoy it. So very thankful for that. Also, the other day I saw a Scyther on my window. Look at the size of this praying mantis. The dude is yoked. The thing's like from Godzilla. I haven't seen that many praying mantis before, but this one was massive. But yeah, I definitely want to share about that because that's a real life Pokemon. And actually, a few weeks ago, I did end up buying a Venus Flytrap because why not? Venus Flytraps are awesome. It's a Carnivine. It's a real life Pokemon. So it's kind of an impulsive buy, but it's also just kind of cool to have like plants around the house, especially ones that are carnivorous. But yeah, we got some real life Pokemon going on. Obviously, we got a cat too, but more of a common Pokemon, you know. It doesn't really count. Anyway, let's actually get into the Battle Frontier updates. Just in case, just a quick recap, we got Tyranitar, he's the main sweeper. We got Dusclops, who just stalls, and we got Steelix, who kind of gathers information and kind of helps set up sets up for Tyranitar. I'm going to be having some gameplay in the background of just some of the matches, most of the ones that I've lost. Yeah, towards the end of this, man, the Battle Frontier is just so unfair, and I'm not trying to be like that guy, you know, or that person who just blames things on RNG and stuff, but like, oh my gosh, it's just not fair. You guys will see in a minute, we'll talk about that game. But I'm having some games in the background, mostly me losing. I've consistently with this team, I can get to like 20 to 30 wins almost every run, but, which I mean, again, isn't that high in hindsight, but getting to like the 25 to 35 wins is where I kept like struggling, getting to those like 30s for some reason. Just something happened. Either I'm not playing the team right or just something needed to change. Probably like 6 times, I'm not even kidding, 6 times of getting to like 25, 30, I decided that I need to reevaluate this team and something needs to change. One thing that felt a little awkward was Steelix, because initially I had Torment, Protect, Roar, and Rest. If I could set up a Torment, that was the main goal, then Torment, Protect, and kind of, you know, stall the game like that. And if the Pokemon was setting up, or I wanted to see what else was on the team, I would use Roar, or on the opponent's team, I'd use Roar. And the rest was just to make it almost invincible. The problem I was encountering was like, I would set up the Torment and Protect and kind of go in between there, and I didn't need to Roar the Pokemon away. But I didn't necessarily want to send out like Dusclops yet, and I didn't want to set up Tyranitar. So I was in this weird phase where it was like, Steelix should be doing something else, and the rest didn't always feel that useful, like being able to gain the health, because oftentimes, I mean, Steelix has got a lot of resistances, so oftentimes he's not losing a lot of health anyway. But the times that he did lose a lot of health, like he would lose like half of it. Like, he get hit by a Surf or Hydro Pump, he would just die. So in those situations, what I would do is just, I wouldn't even have Steelix out because it's too risky, and I would just send out Dusclops. So the rest felt lackluster. I also did spend a lot of time looking into Dusclops and seeing if that was maybe an issue too, but Dusclops just feels too strong. I don't want to mess around the move pool or items on the Pokemon. It's just, for what he does, it's a champ. But these first few games that we're going to be watching, or I'm going to have in the background, is Steelix with the rest and how those games played out. After thinking a lot, I decided that Mud Slap was probably a move to use. So Mud Slap's going to reduce accuracy on an opponent's Pokemon. This was also something I considered initially when building Steelix, but I decided to go with the rest just because it just seemed better. I'm not even sure at the time, but it's different when you put something into actual practice than when you strategize it on a piece of paper, you know? So as I thought about it more, that was the thought process, was to set up with Steelix like a Torment, Protect, kind of control the game a little bit, maybe roar away something if you don't like it. But once I've identified a Pokemon that Steelix won't die to, like, very easily, and Tyranitar could potentially set up against it, the thought process here is to just keep Mud Slapping, reduce the accuracy of that Pokemon, so when you eventually send out Tyranitar, you can set up a bunch of Dragon Dances a lot more, I guess, safely. I did also consider Flash, so Flash is also really good because it reduces accuracy. It also doesn't do damage, which is also a benefit as opposed to Mud Slap. And also Mud Slap is a ground move, so it doesn't work against levitating Pokemon, as well as flying, obviously. So I had a very long, I actually probably spent a few hours contemplating Mud Slap over Flash, and eventually just put it started writing it down, like pros and cons of each. Dusclops with Flash was a consideration I had for a while, and to be honest, I really didn't want to remove Rest from Steelix because I just got that TM from my Leaf Green save file, so if I want another Rest, I gotta speedrun. It's not even that far, to be honest. I gotta speedrun the first couple gyms of Leaf Green to get another TM. Not a big deal, but it's just another reason why I just didn't want to remove Rest. But yeah, I battled between Mud Slap and Rest, and on Steelix or Dusclops. I really didn't want to touch Dusclops or mess around with it because it's just solid. It takes care of a lot of issues just throughout the game. It stalls very well, and the rest with the leftovers is just so good. I did debate removing the leftovers from Dusclops, putting a Chesto Berry on it, and then putting the leftovers on Steelix. But I want Dusclops to be the ultimate stalling Pokemon because with that pressure and Protect, it's just so good. I can't ignore that. And I gotta be cautious of the Sandstream on Tyranitar. So if we don't have the leftovers, I mean, it's not the best idea. I've been trying to be more cautious when I am playing throughout the game of when I send in Tyranitar versus Dusclops. But if we have Dusclops out and Sandstream's up and the Sandstream is going, the leftovers on Dusclops is pretty much, I'm gonna say useless because it just makes it so Sandstream isn't really affecting it. But you're not really gaining the health either, so you're in this weird spot. But Rest with the leftovers just makes Dusclops almost invincible. And there are some Pokemon Dusclops cannot handle, like a big one is even Absol's annoying, but mostly it's like Gengar. Dusclops cannot kill Gengar. But anyway, these are just little micro things. We're getting on a side tangent. Mud Slap versus Flash. The biggest reason I decided Mud Slap on Steelix is just because Steelix didn't feel useful in a lot of situations once I got a Torment set up. So now moving forward, the next maybe game or two that I'm going to show throughout this video, Steelix does have Mud Slap. So in situations where Steelix sets up the Torment and you kind of control the game with the Protect and try not to lose too much health, I then use Mud Slap as often as I can to reduce the accuracy and just really make that other Pokemon just miss all the moves. Protect away anything that might lose against. Then you can even send out Dusclops, and then Dusclops with the pressure and Protect just destroys the opposing Pokemon's PP. And then it just makes for a lot better situations in setting up into Tyranitar. Sometimes you don't even need to, but typically you're going to want to. Since I did remove Rest from Steelix, I obviously took the Chesto Berry off. I did again debate leftovers, but I don't want to mess with Dusclops. So I opted to put the Bright Powder on it. This reduces accuracy. I think it's 10% of the other Pokemon. I think it's just it's nice because Steelix is already super resistant to a lot of types. He has the ability Sturdy. He's almost unkillable, and on top of that, we're just throwing something on it to make any other Pokemon's moves miss a little bit more. And because we are leading with the Steelix, I think it's like a little bit of like a cherry on top almost, and just really showcasing the brute, not strength, but like defense Steelix offers on the team. So that's kind of why I opted for the Bright Powder. I did obviously spend a lot of time considering the Mud Slap versus the rest on Steelix, but we ultimately made the decision, and the games that I've had since then have been a lot better. I think at least two times, probably 3 or 4 though. I kind of lose track at this point, but about 3 or 4 times getting to round 35, somewhere around there. And yeah, that's kind of how that's been. So it's definitely a little bit more progressive, I guess. The team has definitely shown improvements with this slight change. However, it's still not super good. We got a long way to go still. I want to discuss 1 or 2 of the games before we go too far on. I do want to go through like a more in-depth, I'm not gonna say guide, but like an analysis on the team that I'm currently using with Steelix, Dusclops, and Tyranitar. That'll be a whole separate video in itself, even though we've kind of discussed it a lot, but I want to dedicate a specific video showcasing the strengths, weaknesses, and kind of strategy of this team. And again, it's not perfect, I'm not an expert, but I think it'd just be fun to obviously chat about. That's why we make these videos. I know there's probably some questions and stuff like that, but that'll be in a separate video in itself. So one of these games was absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'll obviously go back when I edit this video and watch it, but like, there was this crazy juiced out Whiscash who should have played the lottery. We have Steelix on the team with Sturdy, because we know Pokemon use these one-hit KO moves in the Battle Frontier. We just know it, you know. Wasn't expecting Whiscash to be one. Maybe I should have, you know, foresaw this, but Whiscash is a Pokemon that has Fissure. And you better watch out because it never misses. So I had Steelix out. I don't remember exactly what I did. I think I probably protected and then was like, alright, I don't want to risk Steelix because most likely Whiscash has got Earthquake and Surf. Pretty typical. So I'm gonna switch out Steelix for Dusclops again because I'm predicting that there's gonna be Surf or Earthquake. Steelix could tank both the Surf and an Earthquake as long as it doesn't crit. The Surf doesn't crit, but it's still like I don't want to be put in that situation where Steelix already starts off with low health. So this is one of the thought processes I've been having more in the game, is if I'm predicting there's a water move or a fire move, typically I'll just switch out of Steelix because it's just not worth it to keep him in. We usually will at least use one protect to at least get one piece of information on what one of the moves the Pokemon has. Anyway though, switching to Dusclops, and the Whiscash hits this crazy Fissure, destroys Dusclops. Man, that's awful. So I'm pretty sure I sent out Steelix, started mud slapping the dude. So I don't know if it was 2 or 3. I'm gonna say it was probably 3 mud slaps. So Whiscash's accuracy is already decreased. Forgot what happened with Steelix. I'm not gonna worry about it. But anyway, Tyranitar eventually gets put out. So the Whiscash somehow hits Fissure again under a couple mud slaps, reducing its accuracy, and destroys my Tyranitar. That was tough. In my head in this match, I was predicting that he used Fissure once on Dusclops. I think so. That's 2 PP there. He used it like once or twice on Steelix. I was predicting the trainer I was versing had about 1 Fissure left, and I thought that the probability that would hit under a couple mud slaps was essentially 0, especially because he already hit the Fissure. And he hit it. Just so lucky, dude. Never underestimating the luck that is the Emerald Battle Frontier. It is continually amazing me. I say that like somewhat jokingly, but it's quite, I don't want to say stressful, it feels defeating playing for like 3 hours, grinding some of these matches, and then just the trainer whips out double Fissure. Like, bro. Anyway, I digress. had a match after that too, getting back to like 20 or 30, I don't even remember. But man, Marowak, I didn't know Marowak does that much damage. Like, I know Marowak's strong, and I know Steelix, especially if he uses the boomerang, both Steelix and Tyranitar are kind of weak to that move. But like, that Marowak does so much damage. He probably has the choice band on it now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that would make so much more sense. Just was not expecting the damage output from this one Marowak, and that made me mess up a decision I made, because I just thought it wouldn't be doing that much damage. I guess in moments like those though, using Torment is crazy good. If I could get it off though, that's the thing. I don't think I was going to be able to there. Okay, yeah, I remember this match now. I was trying to like wear down Marowak's like PP, and I was trying to set up some mud slaps, and all Marowak had to do was miss one time and allow for the Dusclops to hit the Seismic Toss to remove the rest of its HP. I just needed Marowak to miss that one time, and he did not. He was not having it. I was trying to get Dusclops to gain as much HP with the leftovers. I don't even remember anymore. All these games blend in together. It's madness out there. It's a bloodbath. But yeah, with this team, I've consistently gotten to about round 30. You know, a little bit high, a little bit low, which again isn't very high. I understand that, but it's consistent. It's just we got to work out some little details. Really looking at the team, I think Steelix is fine, Dusclops is fine. Tyranitar is good, don't get me wrong. Tyranitar's Sandstream just really messes up the Dusclops. It does synergize, not gonna say well with Steelix, but it just synergizes okay. Like, it doesn't really, hurt or anything, but I need something that doesn't die to water moves. That's just one of the big things. And I can have one Pokemon that dies to water moves, but I can't have two. It's a little rough. And like the fighting moves and like counter and all that stuff, it does obviously really hurt Tyranitar and Steelix as well, but less Steelix, more Tyranitar. But Dusclops does, like I say, negate it, but it counteracts that weakness, because I can switch into Dusclops if I'm predicting some fighting moves, and it can't hurt Dusclops because he's Ghost. So there's that side to it too. It does just always hurt so badly when the Pokemon uses counter. But that's a little bit, I can play around that a little more, and just like Surf, it's very hard to play around. There's so many Pokemon with Surf. But yeah, there's just some really cheeky matches out there. I'm just seeing if they have anything else I'm going to chat about. I've been seeing so many Quagmires and Swampers, like it's ridiculous. I've been fortunately not seeing any Kingdras. Same thing, Skarmory. I see so many Skarmory and Quagmires. Like, and Skarmory gives me a lot of trouble, this team a lot of trouble, because Steelix's Mud Slap doesn't work against it. Tyranitar's moves, we got Ice Beam, Rock Slide, Earthquake. We can really only hit it with Rock Slide, maybe, or not really, you can't really hit it Ice Beam. So really only Rock Slide, and you have to be empowered with the Dragon Dance. And typically, these Skarmories are running Counter and Steel Wing, so if I'm not set up before, I have to one-shot the Skarmory. If I don't, it's just going to counter and destroy my Tyranitar. If I don't one-shot, or if I start setting up on the Skarmory, it's just going to use Steel Wing, and Tyranitar is pretty weak to it. So there's a huge balancing act there. The Dusclops can actually handle it with the Seismic Toss, which is pretty good, but that's like the only way to reliably handle this thing. And obviously Toxic doesn't affect it too, so Skarmory is overall just a pretty good Pokemon too. Also, I've been seeing a lot of Scizors. It's not the worst Pokemon, the team can deal with it, but again, you can't Toxic it. It also runs Counter and like Steel Wing, or I think it's Metal Claw, something like that, one of the Steel moves. Just again, another really annoying thing for Tyranitar to deal with, and something that Dusclops can't super easily deal with. Scizor also sometimes runs bug moves, which does hurt the Clops, and especially when the Scizors are running Swords Dance, which I don't think I've seen too many, but I've definitely seen a couple. Unless I'm misremembering, I'm confusing that with different Pokemon. See, anything else we got here? I have been seeing Flygons, but okay, that's another thing. So, Hidden Power Grass on Tyranitar would be amazing for Swampert, Quagmire, Quagsire, whatever, and like Whiscash. But at the same time, like, you gotta pick your poison, because those Pokemon give my team currently issues. But if I throw on the Hidden Power Grass, which I can't do anyway because I'm almost positive this Tyranitar doesn't have that hidden power. But let's say I did. Sure, I can handle those Pokemon, but now all of a sudden things like Flygon give me huge issues. And Flygon's Earthquake does so much damage to Tyranitar, it's ridiculous. So you gotta kind of pick your poison, but since I have Ice Beam on Tyranitar, Flygon's not really an issue. Again, it still is, but it's not as bad. So I'm going to be using this team in the Battle Frontier definitely at least 2 more weeks, maybe 3, but I think it's time to... It's such a tough move though. Like, I obviously want to keep grinding this, but I'm really itching for this Gen 4 stuff, and obviously I can do it simultaneously, but I do like to more focus on one thing at a time. I think I just get better results that way. But now that we got this shiny Cyndaquil too, like, I'm just craving Gen 4 stuff. So maybe I'll do a video here and there of each. I really would like to get at least 1 gold medal, mostly in the Battle Tower, just because I think the team that I currently designed excels in the Battle Tower. And I think we got the strategy down. I just need to, I'm not gonna say get unlucky, but I'm also not gonna say that getting hit with 2 fissures while one of those fissures is under a bunch of mud slaps is not unlucky. You know what I mean? So I think I just gotta spend some more time in the tower with this current team and just be patient, but also gotta get a little lucky. And I've been seeing so many groundwater type Pokemon that those just, like the Swamperts, just devastate my team. I've had at least 2 teams though where they have Swampert and Whiscash, or Swampert and Quagmire. Like, those are tough games. But anyway though, I will keep you updated, let you know how it goes. Stay tuned though for some more updates. Let me know how your adventure is going in the Battle Frontier or your games just in general. Also stay tuned for some Gen 4 content. Super excited about that. It's gonna be a long adventure. It's gonna be fun though, but that's coming very, very soon. Got a lot of videos on the channel, so go check them out. Take care.